day 105 in a year of living the Warrior's Way. Today, I want to talk about something that was gifted to me in the early days of Wake Up Warrior, which was reading the book Be the Man. Now, in this book, it exposed and revealed to me that men these days are pretty fucked up. The majority of men have been raised by women, and men are not taught, trained, or educated to be men. So we become a very effeminate version of a man. And that is because of the way that things have changed. Because if you go back 100 years, the man was the main breadwinner. Little Johnny used to go to work with his dad, surrounded by other men, and they would train you to be a man. And you would do manly things. And then the war happened, and a lot of the men died. And then another war happened, and an awful lot of other men died. And the women were taking over and running the fucking show back. You know, making munitions, running everything, running in the factories, working everything. And what happened was that women just began to think, well, we don't actually need men. We can drive, we can build, we can do stuff, we can fight, we can wrestle, we can play football, we can play baseball, we can do all of these things. And so as the women started having children, and as the breakdown of the marriage, the actual marriage between people started happening, and divorces became more commonplace, and people wouldn't actually work at their relationship, they would become more lazy and leave it, and they wouldn't take their vows of marriage or chastity seriously. What happened was these women, just women, nothing wrong with women, but this is what happened to men. Women would be raising these boys and girls on their own. And so they teach them feminine things. And the problem is, as children, we become very needy because we want stuff. I want an ice cream. I want that toy. I want a cuddle. I want love. I want affection, whatever. Needy. And the women, being loving mothers, often give in to that neediness. They don't like it, but they often give in to it. And so the child realizes that if he is whingy and moany and manipulative and needy, he will get what he wants. And if he becomes a man and starts to act and think and behave like a man, then that actually can repel women. So you have an awful lot of very confused, fucked up men parading around in the world. And it is just something that needs to stop. And the difficulty is that when you start to come across as a man, be the man, sometimes that can come across as arrogance, it can come across as aggressive, it can come across as, overconfident, it can come across as, repressed frustration, and that men don't actually really know what the problem is. Now, the great thing with Wake Up Warrior is that it helps you to realize this, and it helps you to deal with it through the actions of the Core 4 and through the actions of the stack and the code that we live by. We are retraining ourselves to be men again. And that doesn't mean we're, running around shooting people up and, I'm such a man, look at me, But it means that we start to build integrity with ourselves. It means we start to build confidence in who we are. It means that we stop being these needy, whiny little bitches that we have often become. It means that we start to actually hang around with other men, converse with other men about men shit. Now, the very good thing is, for a lot of us, we have that feminine side inside us, which helps us to be more empathetic, which helps us to be more loving, which helps us to be more caring. And men in the past wouldn't do that. They'd have to have this veneer. I can't let anyone in. I must be strong. I mustn't have emotions. I mustn't have feelings. If I have any of those, I could die. Because that's what happened in the trenches and in the wars. If you had anything like that, if you didn't have this this incredible suit of armor that would protect your brain as well as your body, then you couldn't survive. So they had to develop this veneer. But the problem is an awful lot of them came back from wars with this veneer. Don't talk about it. We don't talk about the war. We don't talk about our feelings. We don't talk about our emotions. So we didn't deal with them. Warrior allows you to deal with your thoughts, with your emotions. It helps you to realize that a good, whole, rounded man is a combination of many things. In order to be a warrior king, you have to have all of the assets, and you have to develop them, and you have to work on them, and you have to accept the good ones, discard the bad ones that don't serve you and that are not particularly nice, and to become the best version of yourself that you can be. So that's my little talk for today. Be the Man, the book. It's available. Get it if you haven't. It will change the way you see everything. Cheers.